you are live. So let's do our sound check now, Marcus.
Checkmate King 2. This is White Rook over.
We got you, White Rook. We got you.
Marco,
so I guess it's DeMarco's. He's in full concentration mode there.
I'm telling you, he might be making
he's busy
a purchase.
ordering. He's busy purchasing the Avada right now. So Johnny. Okay, it's showtime, guys. And
I see it, man. It looks like it's happening.
I got to get the secret mystery guest out of here for a minute. Okay, folks. 3, 2, 1, and welcome into DroneNation for April 1st, 2023. I mean May 1st. Sorry, it's finally May. Spring has sprung on a lot of the nation now. People are warming up. Even Marcus has got he's down in his one winter hat this week or whatever. So
God, it's 90 degrees out here tonight, and my air conditioner quit, Ron.
No. Oh boy.
Really?
Oh boy.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll be over after the show, see if we can get you going.
Okay.
Anyhow, before we start the show officially, I want to send out thoughts and prayers to Ray Kelly and everyone else down in North Palm Beach area who experienced a tornado over the weekend. Ray has some unbelievable footage posted on Facebook of some of that damage. It's not a pretty sight at all. So I don't know if anybody lost their lives down there. I think Ray and TJ were about to go out and fly that morning too. So luckily those guys are safe. So keep those people in your thoughts and prayers out there. So you know what? We're going to go around the room quick here, and then we're going to bring in our super secret mystery guest from the Great North. Now we're going to go right to Marcus because he has an unusual drone in his hand. And Marcus, that doesn't look like a Mavic 3 Pro to me.
Yeah. Well,
that's a funny looking Mavic 3 Pro.
That Mavic 3 Pro, who knows when it'll show up? But this guy, it came just a little while ago. So right next to me here, I got a ton of batteries charging. Got the vibrator charging. Got the Googles and the batteries charging. So we'll see it. We'll see if this.
And you forgot to mention you got the memory card thrown in installed, right?
I did, and that was super easy. I've heard, I was a little concerned. I heard a lot of complaints. It took me about 30 seconds to pull that little door off and click it in there, and boom, was good to go. So I'm going to have to go back and watch all of Ron's videos again on how to get it all set up, and who knows, we might go flying with it tomorrow.
Oh, excellent. Send it right over the side of the canyon, first flight.
Well. Yeah, I said Googles, Scoopy. Yeah, I did say Googles on purpose, John.
Googles, there you go.
Yeah, instead of goggles. Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't even looked in those goggles yet, so I don't know how they fit. I don't know anything, and I'll have to try those little lenses and see if I can get one that'll, particularly for this eye right here, because that's the one I use to see if I can.
The nice thing is you can put two different ones in. If your eyes have different prescriptions, you can easily run with that too by putting different ones in. So
my eyes only work one at a time, Ron. So that really doesn't matter.
Doesn't help you.
Yeah.
So well, looking forward to that first experience. We're just kidding you about the canyon. Baby steps, Marcus. Baby steps on this one.
No, I'm not kidding. No,
I like that idea, DeMarco. I don't blame you. I like that idea, but because it's my first time with any kind of goggles, well, I guess I had the FPV drone. I'll probably go out to Heroes Park. But no, DeMarco, I'd love to do that. No joking.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
So, Johnny, do you have anything to show us tonight?
Yeah, I got that drone twin right here.
Johnny, that's not a Mavic 3 Pro.
No. Hey, I was just saying in the chat, Eddie Nunez got his Mavic 3 Pro Cine today.
Wow.
But
early.
Yeah, it did. But no, and Marcus, you know what? You're going to enjoy that. And of course, hey, 3 out of 4 here probably said, I don't know. I'm not saying we never said we would do FPV, but now 3 of the 4 right here on the show had the Avada. So that's kind of new territory there, right, DeMarco?
Yeah, it's weird that DeMarco, the guy that's probably got the best eyesight of all of us and so forth, he doesn't have it, but that's
Well, he does have an FPV drone though.
Yes,
has
he
the
does.
potato.
He does have the potato.
Yeah.
Right there.
I bet
That's
he
a
doesn't
much
have the
faster
potato
drone.
for long though.
No.
He's gonna up. Well, I say he's gonna. I don't say upgrade, but yeah, he'll have the Avada. But no, hey, what I'm enjoying it, and got to fly with Captain Joe today. We flew a couple batteries apiece. Had a great time today. So yeah, still learning, taking our time, but it's a little used to getting used to. But hey, it's fun. I'll tell you that.
I want to welcome in Brad Austin in the chat. He got to fly the Avada down there with Ken Dobo a few weeks ago, right after the meetup, but he did pretty darn good with it on his first couple flights there.
Yeah, he used a motion controller, and Dobo had never really used it a whole lot, and kind of liked it. So hey, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. So let's go over to DeMarco. What's been going on with you, DeMarco?
Small. Excuse me. I take that back. A short flight with the Mavic 3. I told Marcus the story. I had a charging issue. So it was a very short, like 6-minute flight before my battery went out on me. But I'm good. I spent the weekend at the baseball field again. Though had 5 games.
Oh wow!
The last one didn't finish till Sunday around 8:00. So, but he came home with the championship. So hey,
congratulations!
Congrats.
Yay!
Yeah, congrats.
Yes.
Hey, Ray Kelly has a question for you in the chat, DeMarco.
Ray, I've flown that Mavic 3 probably a total of 8 minutes so far though. So wait, just give me a minute before.
You got to tell the story, DeMarco. You got to tell it. You do.
I didn't hear this.
No, you got to tell the story.
I went to charge it up here, like with my 65-watt charger here though. So I came home Saturday from a baseball game, early game, and I was all excited when the kids were going out for ice cream. So I plugged it up and waited about 2 hours. I'm fixing stuff around the house. I'm all excited to fly the drone, and I come back to this charger here, and it didn't charge.
Oh, no charge.
It didn't charge though. So I'm like, what the heck? Did Marcus tell me something that's not working? I mean, but I figured it out pretty quick though. Like you actually had to use the DJI charger. This is not the DJI charger. So yeah.
It's not just the charger, it's also the cable too.
Too.
Yeah, all the cables aren't created equally. You've got to have a high-speed charging cable, etc. And it's just as easy just to use that DJI supplied charge block.
Yeah, I mean, so like when I turned the drone on, I had 26% power. I mean, so I went out and flew it for just a couple of minutes before it came home. So
yeah.
Yeah, you'll get your time in.
I'll figure it out. I'm a newbie. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, newbie to the 3.
Ron, what about yourself?
Just messed around basically all week with the new Avada and the goggles and the motion controller. I didn't even get a chance to try out the the goggles motion with the camera drones. That's one of our segments we'll discuss with the show. Mostly just trying to get this COVID leftover. Always in my post-nasal causing me sore throat. But anyhow, enough with me. We got to get our mystery guest in here. He's in the back room, and the poutine's getting low, and the Tim Hortons coffee's running out. So we got to get him in here really quick. So the way from
that's a Michigan thing.
All the way from Thunder Bay? No, that's a different part of Canada.
all the way from the the northern Canadian there. Actually, though, I think he's going to give us a good weather report. So with no further ado, here he is, Mr. Lauren Donner.
Lauren,
how are you tonight?
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? I'm not quite as hot as Marcus, but we're darn close. It was 80 degrees when I last looked, and that's significantly warmer than what we should be this time of year. But just enjoying the heat and busier than heck this last weekend. So
you getting flying in this weekend, Lauren?
Well, Saturday I taught a drone photography class.
Oh wow!
And then Sunday we did a group fly. So it's been busy. But
so you're really taking advantage of that weather, huh?
Oh yeah, you betcha.
Would I be able to call this unseasonably warm for your area?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Celsius wise, we should normally be around 18, 20 degrees maybe, and like I say, it was 30 degrees Celsius when I last looked at the thermometer. So yeah, it's unseasonably warm.
I think I remember last year, Lawrence, sometime in the early part of May, you posted a photo. You had a dusting of snow on your lawn in May.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll get that yet because always it's usually 3 or 4 days before the May long weekend that then we get a good dump of snow, and then it's done for the year. But
That's funny.
Well, it's so weird here. I mean, the trees are still bare. The leaves haven't come out. The buds are just starting now. But it's flipping 90 degrees out there today. It's like summertime. And it's weird to have that kind of heat and the trees are bare.
It still looks like it still looks like winter, but it feels like summer. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, before we get into our first story here, I have a DroneNation deal today. Now I didn't have this written down because I just got this late breaking from Drone DJ. The DroneNation deal of the day. This is a Best Buy refurb. You can get the Mini 3 Pro with the standard controller right now at Best Buy refurb, free shipping, $569. And if you want the Mini Pro with the DJI RC controller, the one with the screen, $699. So Ron, in the article said normally the Mini 3 Pro is $760. And the Pro with the DJRC is $910, so you can see the savings. You save $200 or over $200 on these deals.
Here's what I'm going to ask you, Ron. That being the case, why would anybody buy the Fimi X8 Mini version 2 when you could spend a couple $100 more and get that? I don't know.
Well, we could ask G-Man that question.
Well, you could ask me too. I had a fight with that guy today.
That's on the agenda, Marcus. Right. That's on the list of topics.
Hey, here's a side note. Here's a side note about something. Yeah. John and I talked about this today. So a buddy of mine went to Best Buy and ordered the DJI FPV refurb, and he picked it up. He went to the store and picked it up, and he said it came in a bag, and it was missing pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. Read the reviews on the refurb stuff. I mean,
somebody who knows drones too. I mean, so he knew something was wrong.
Saying this isn't like getting a DJI refurb when you order from DJI and getting their refurbs.
Yeah. He took it back immediately.
I think Chris Hope
I would think so.
Said something about it in the chat there. Chris said read the reviews, and I know DeMarco and I talked on the phone this morning. I was reading the reviews, and a lot of people were. Now I guess you get your money back, of course, but
yeah, he did. But he told me first thing he said it came in a bag. So like when they gave it to him, he knew something was up. Yeah.
A Best Buy bag or
I didn't ask.
Either that or it was a Walmart bag.
Yeah,
I'm so far behind the missing parts and parts were dirty. He said so. I mean, like you already know if it's dirty, like we all know what that means. So
that sounds like no drones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't find Chris Hope's comment. I'm so far behind.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Rod.
Here we go. I got it. Thanks for putting that in there, Chris. So anyhow, I'm just reading the prices off here, but so be wary if you do get these refurbs in Best Buy. Make sure I'm going to say order and have it shipped to the store and inspect at the store before you can walk out the door. Right?
That's what he did. Too.
Yeah. So yeah, we're not. We're not promoting the Best Buy refurbs as far as we don't get any kickback on it or whatever. So, buy at your own risk. So anyhow, just want to get that in
Art.
I kind of got that late breaking.
Hey, Art.
Art Carlson's here.
Thanks, sir.
Well, he left you a $5 tip, Ron.
Well, thank you, Art. Art's just back from the Philippines, right?
Yes. He is, yeah.
I want to see those pictures, Art.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Thank you, Art. And it's in a Walmart bag. I hope Art had a great time over in the Philippines. I was following his pictures on Facebook. He seemed like he got all over.
Good.
So
good. Yeah. Hey, well,
Okay,
you guys
folks,
have been giving me a hard time. Lauren and Ron were giving me a really hard time before the show about ordering that Mavic 3 Pro. Let me tell you, you guys are going to be jealous. When you see me flying that thing, you're going to wish you ordered it too. I'm just telling you right now. Me and my buddy John Flynn.
Yeah, we'll be cursing Marcus when he's flying that thing around, using that new lens. But hey, let's get right into it, guys.
Yeah.
The Mavic 3
I just
Pro
had to get
arrived.
that in there.
Yeah, you did. The Mavic 3 Pro arrived last Tuesday with much fanfare, and most of the rumors are true. It does have a new Tele cam, but is it worth getting, or maybe more importantly, is it worth upgrading if you already have the Mavic 3? So I'm going to go right to Lauren. And before we get to that question in particular, we kind of all know about the camera. Almost all the reviewers that got it talked about the camera in depth, and you heard the word compression a lot. You know, that this new 70 millimeter offers you a chance to get compression in your video and photos. But besides that camera, were there any upgrades to the airframe at all, Lauren?
No.
Okay.
And again, with the extra weight of that new camera, you get a slightly reduced flight time. The airframe is the same. Slight difference in some of the electronics, which is like to the end user doesn't mean nothing, but just to accommodate the 3 camera. So
right.
Who the hell would order that POS?
So to get to that question, Lauren, what do you think? It's worth getting the Mavic 3 Pro? And more importantly, do you think it's worth upgrading from the current Mavic 3 if you already own it?
If you have the Mavic 3 Classic and you want it, and this is only my personal opinion, but if you have the Classic, then yes. If you have just a standard Mavic 3 with a dual camera, I'd be hard pressed to justify it, because of the fact that, as I was stating earlier, if you sell your drone, if you're lucky, you might get 80%, right? And then so you're going to pay out that extra 20% unless you have a use case for that 3 cameras. And again, that's my opinion. Opinions may vary, shall we say?
Yes. Yeah. DeMarco, what's your opinion on that topic?
I would get it if you can afford it. Get it. Why not? Yeah.
Are you getting it if you don't have a Mavic 3, or upgrading if you already have
if you have the Mavic Classic or the Mavic 3 and you want the Pro, get it. If you think you need it, I mean, from all the videos that we've seen, if you think that you need it, I mean, only from the videos that I've seen, the people who would need it would be someone who's selling their work. I mean, but if you're not selling pictures or making videos, you don't need it then. But hey, if you can afford it,
hey, DeMarco's glad that he did, because he got the Mavic 3.
I don't need that.
Johnny, what's your opinion on this topic?
Well, I never got the Mavic 3, so I really can't voice my opinion. So hey, I mean,
Johnny, you're a classic case of somebody that should buy the new Mavic 3 Pro then, since you didn't have one at all.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go.
You got nothing to get rid of.
I mean, I would get the Mavic 3, Pro before. Of course, even if you get a refurbed Mavic 3, I would just go ahead and go all the way up and get that one. So yeah.
Johnny DroneFlyer.
DeMarco's happy that Marcus did. He got a great drone there.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have bought a new. Good. Look, I don't need it though. But hey, he cut me a great deal. So, $50, not bad.
Elvis has left the building, Barkley said.
I'm going to share the screen here, and let's see if we can read this here. Maybe full screen or something here. If I can figure out how to do that.
Do you forgive us, Marcus?
I'm just getting used to everybody telling me what a dumb shit I am.
Oh,
You know,
no, not at all, Marcus. You wanted it, so you got it.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's go over the poll here. I put a poll up in the DroneNation Facebook group this morning, and we had a couple of choices here. Not the first one was I'm purchasing the Mavic 3 Pro. I don't currently own a Mavic 3, and 44% said that. Agree with that one. I'm upgrading from the Mavic 3 to the Mavic 3 Pro. 1% agree with that. Here's this kind of funny one here. I ordered the Avada Explorer combo instead, so I could fly my current Mavic 3 and Mini 3 Pro with the goggles. 15%. Check that one. I have no interest in getting the Mavic 3 Pro. 61% check that. Now, Mark White added his own comment here. I see no reason to spend all that money to get it yet. 15% voted for that. And then David Peterson added, I will wait and order refurbished. 4% said that. So like 76% of people here have no plans to get this drone.
Yeah, well.
I honestly.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
They're just jealous. That's all I can tell you.
I guess the only point it is that this drone has it. Of course, it's an expensive drone, so they don't need to sell millions on like a mini drone or whatever. But it has a very targeted audience, and the mainstream flyers don't have a lot of interest in it. It just seems to be just unofficial polls. And that doesn't mean it's not the best drone in the world. I mean, the Spire 3 would have even a smaller thing, but it'll be a great drone also. So we're not knocking.
Why do you think that though, Ron? Because of the cost of it, or just?
My guess would be that it's not enough of an upgrade over the current product. I think a lot of people, even though all the reviewers talked in depth about the compression with the new camera, I don't think that really appealed to enough people to get them to jump on board here. My personal opinion. Lauren, you have any theory why so many people have decided not to jump on board here?
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, I think some of it is out of spite that they won't buy it because they're pissed off because of the fact that they feel that DJI should have come out with this one first, rather than like the Mavic and the Mavic Cine. In the world of drones, have had an extremely short shelf life before all of a sudden they are considered end of life. And I think that pissed a lot of people off that I'm not going to buy one just out of spite because now all of a sudden you want me to buy this drone and I just bought it, a year ago. So I think part of that plays into it as well. Yeah,
that could be. And a little bit of thinking, a little bit of my thought here. Not saying this is anybody else's thought, but I'm thinking the reason I got the Mavic 3 was to record with that 4/3 sensor, that large 4/3 sensor, and to have a variable aperture where I could control the aperture, fully. And now all of a sudden, I'm getting this Pro in here that they tout this new camera, this 70mm camera, which is not a 4/3, it's smaller than one sensor. And I lose my variable aperture. So why even have this? I'll make a 4/3 drone if I'm mostly filming on a smaller sensor.
Yeah,
that may not make any sense to anybody else but me, but
no, makes total sense, and that was part of my big reason for going to the Mavic 3 at all as well, is because I'm primarily a photographer, so having that nice big sensor just does so much for me. And it's like I say, this weekend I taught a drone photography course, and like you were kind of mentioning it, but I give a demonstration of lens compression, right? Just going between the regular lens and the 7x lens on the Mavic 3, and a lot of people badmouth the 7x camera on the Mavic 3, but if you use it properly, it is actually pretty decent for photography work.
And you can show a lot of compression with it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Ron, I think a better question would have been if they all came out at the same time, the Classic, the Pro, and just a regular 3. What would people have bought?
At the current price structure they are now? I would have got the Pro if they'd all come out at the same time at the current pricing.
I would think if they came out all at the same time that they wouldn't be so close. Well, at least the top 2 wouldn't be so close because people would just buy the Pro.
But
Does anybody want to hear from the guy that had the Mavic 3 and said it was the best? No, that said it was the best. It's the best drone I've ever owned.
Right.
Period. End of report. I've said that many, many times. Now they came out with an improved version. I wanted it. So I bought it. And I just think there's a lot of people that wish they could afford to buy it. And I'm glad that I can. And I did. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with that drone. And it's going to be great. And I'm really happy that DeMarco was able to get my old Mavic 3. And he's going to have a ball with that thing. Yeah. And I'm just going to I'm going to really enjoy that drone. No matter what you guys say.
And you did it wisely, Marcus. You did a smart upgrade or whatever. So you didn't, you weren't, paying that full load. You did it, you said you upgraded. And that's the nice thing. If you have a current drone in good condition, everything's an upgrade because you can just sell what you currently have.
Right.
And I was
Marcus, would you have bought it? I guess it's not standalone. You can't buy the drone only right now, right?
No. Not that I saw.
Not at this point, no.
Gotcha.
Right.
No, you can't.
But Lauren, you think that'll come at some point, though?
At some point, but who knows when?
Yeah, right. Could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. Who knows? And
but hey, to clarify too, what I was saying is, if you can afford it, buy it. I mean, it's not my money. Go ahead, spend it.
Right.
If you can't afford it, don't think that you need to go out there and get it.
Listen, here's one of the things I describe myself. Listen, I am not an expert photographer. I'm not an expert drone pilot. I'm not a professional drone pilot. DeMarco said the only people that need it are somebody that are using the drone professionally. I'm not using the drone professionally. I have a Part 107, but it's just because of my YouTube channel. But I'm a drone enthusiast, and I like the technology, and I like DJI has always brought us some amazing technology, and this new Mavic 3 Pro is the epitome of consumer drones. It's the top of the top of consumer drones, and I wanted one, and I'm going to have a blast with that thing. I assure you.
It's no doubt. It'll be the king of the free line.
Need and want. I don't need any of them. Yeah. I need a minivan. I don't need a 300 sitting out there with a big Fimi engine in it. That's what I need.
DeMarco, I need a C8 Corvette.
Yeah.
No, I need it.
You do.
Yeah.
No. Hey, if I had an extra 2K laying around or not in a account, I would get it too. I would, but hey, I don't. So
okay, let's move on to story 2 here now. On that same day, Lauren's got one more point for me. I'm going to share it, Lauren.
Thanks. Okay, this photo here is basically what I was talking about, compression. So that did that shot, and I tried to match it up reasonably close, and that's just with the big sensor, and then and then go to 7 times zoom. Now you see how much closer those mountains are.
Yep, there's the compression everybody talked about.
Yes, so I was trying to keep the silos roughly the same size from one picture to the next, right? But you see the mountains are way off in the background, and then when you use 7 times zoom, that gives you your compression, right? And
nice shot.
Whoop.
Hey, that's some serious zoom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But was that the 7X or your big Canon glass?
Actually, neither. That was Sigma lens.
Oh, Oh, okay.
And
So,
that
Lauren,
was,
as a photographer, Lauren, you're used to getting that compression with some of your big glass, right?
oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
a lot of times I use my big glass just to get that compression. And
Hmm.
but that moonshot there, that was actually 140 photos.
Oh,
But
Wow.
that you, Ron, you're familiar with photo stacking, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
So that was 140 photo stack. So
Wow.
yeah.
Good. Nice.
Johnny, you want to
What?
tell us about photo stacking, Johnny?
No. Can't tell you about got photos stacked in my shoebox here, but
I
Yeah.
can't either.
I got a stack of photos all over in the corner. Yeah.
there you go.
Marcus, you want to tell us about photos?
Got no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
no.
we're gonna move on. We're gonna move into story 2 here. It's 9:30. We're in story 1. Okay. Along with last week's news of the Mavic 3 Pro, we also got the news many have been waiting for. The Mavic 3 series of drones, all Mavic 3s, and the Mini 3 Pro are now compatible with the Goggles 2, the Goggles Integra, and the Motion 2 stick. I'll be nice there. The only disappointment is that they will only work in combo. I mean, the goggles here with the Motion 2 controller. The RC that came with your drone, you can't use that in combination with the goggles. Has to be the Motion 2. So I'll go right to Lauren. This has been a rumor that's been around for a couple of years now. They were going to add goggle compatibility to some of the camera drones, and it finally happened. You have any thoughts on this at all?
To be honest, I haven't paid any attention to any of that because of the fact I can't frickin' wear goggles.
Right.
My eyesight just doesn't allow for it. No matter what I've tried, and I've tried, different glasses, different prescription glasses,
Yeah.
and I, using the adjusting the diopter 6 ways from Wednesday, and so I haven't really paid any attention to that whole thing.
Brad Marcus has some trouble with his eyes and goggles too. Hopefully this works out. But I so one more thing before I jump to the next person, Lauren. Do you think the limitation of using the goggles in combination with motion controller is a hardware situation, or you think it's a software situation that could be fixed with a firmware update somewhere down the road?
Transmission system issues,
Okay.
right? Getting those two to work with the hardware that's currently in those devices. Like trying to send out multiple signals, right? So that it's transmitting to different things at the same time without getting too much lag and stuff.
Yeah. That's a tough thing to get accomplished. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. I'm going to go right to Johnnie DroneFlyer because he's the only one in the panel that has tried to fly one of the DJI camera drones, specifically the Mini 3 Pro, with the Integra goggles and the Motion 2. Johnny, how was your experience with that setup?
Yeah, my fly more kit, was a few days behind on my Avada, so going through that one battery was pretty quick. But yeah, I did do it and flew a couple times, and of course, got a bunch of batteries for the Mini 3 Pro. So, I think we were, people were asking for that. It seemed like for a couple of years now, last year or so. But it's fun to fly. I mean, I would just say, but we were talking today, Ron, and if you think you're going to fly that. I mean, I don't really see the need to try to, hey, shoot gaps and fly through bushes and all that with the Mini 3 Pro, the Mavic 3, just too much money, to do that. But I think you can, get some height and get some nice shots, and you get that true long battery life to fly. But I mean, where Marcus is out there, he could have fun using that motion controller. But, it's kind of I don't say if it's a novelty, but I think you really have to be careful because I think people are going to be using it refresh a lot.
Right. Now, John, you think a handy thing could come in with these goggles on a bright sunny day when it's hard to see some of the screens on your controllers. If you put these goggles on, you could see better for a extremely bright day flight.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people who have the RC that kind of went away a little bit by using the phones, and of course the RC Pro is even better. And
Mhm.
but yeah, I can see the advantage to that, at some. But it's definitely different playing with the goggles. But those Integra goggles are very easy to use. They're crystal clear, and I'm kind of waiting to see what Marcus, kind of see how he adapts to them. But it could be fun using that. But it did fly good. You do have to mind it, control it with the drone, and then but it's very easy to do, and it flies pretty good.
Good.
And playing the devil's advocate. Oh, you go ahead, Marcus.
Well, what I was going to say is with the Mavic 3 Pro, flying it with the motion controller too, because of the 360-degree obstacle avoidance, and DJI has really got that down. It is, if they're not up with what Skydio can do, they're pretty darn close. And that motion controller will, in fact, I think, be kind of cool, because you'll be able to do some of those low level flyings, and you're not going to hit anything with that drone. You're not. I mean, it's going to avoid anything but the smallest little twigs. So might be kind of fun.
Yeah. Hey, well, you'll have yours pretty soon. So hey, you get to try it, Marcus. But yeah,
and I will.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know y'all said Michael Wright. No, he was flying a Mavic 3.
Yeah.
He was zipping through the palm trees and stuff. So yeah.
Scared the hell out of me.
Marcus's latest video. Go to the end of Marcus's latest Air 2S video, and you'll see Mike Wright. The daring young man with his flying machine going through those palm trees.
Well, Ron and I and Ray were like freaking out, and finally Mike turned around and looked at us and said, "Hey, you dumbasses! It's got obstacle avoidance."
Yeah.
Lauren, you were about to ask a question.
Devil's
advocate.
Just devil's advocate. If you're going to do the minis or the Mavics with the goggles, is technically require a spotter, right? Which is different,
right? So
right.
I got Stu's brother. Stu's brother is my spotter. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the summertime, there's plenty of spotters down here at the Jersey Shore. They're all over the place, those spotters.
Same thing out at Heroes Park and Kleiner Park. There's a ton of spotters. Yep.
So anyways, I know Marcus, I know that won't be probably your first thing to do with the goggles, whatever, but you're looking forward to trying that out at some point, aren't you, with the camera drones, with the goggles and the motion once you get up running on all that gear.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Definitely want to get a little bit of figure this guy out, and then for sure, absolutely, and I would caution anybody with the Mini 3 Pro. Obviously, you don't have any sideways sensors, so you could go. It's not going to see to the side, so you could go sideways into something. So be careful. But with the Mavic 3 Pro, that's the one that I'm thinking should be interesting because of that 360 obstacle avoidance, and it is phenomenal. Anybody that's messed around with that, it is pretty amazing.
It sure is. All right, I think we covered that topic pretty good here. Now,
hey, Marcus, I got a question. Did Tanya order the Mavic 3 Pro?
Yeah.
Say Pro. It's the Fimi Mini 2. Marcus and G-Man have both reviewed and have videos up on YouTube about the Fimi Mini 2. And Marcus's first video, the one I just completed watching yesterday, he kind of went soup to nuts all the way from an unboxing to a first flight experience. And overall, you had a couple snags near the end, but overall, it was a pretty good experience, I believe. Marcus?
Yeah, the flight I had today was full with it. I flew it again today, trying to show more of the features, and I had a number of issues with it. Now, none of them were disasters, I would say, but when I get frustrated is when a drone doesn't do what it says it'll do on the side of the box. It is kind of even if it's a $300 drone. And Ron, you've said this 100 times. I'd rather pay $400 and have it work correctly than pay $300.
And I got that from John Coopy. John Coopy said that first. Yeah, I stole that from John Coopy.
Yeah. So you saw the video issue I had with it on that first flight. I took it out. I took it out yesterday, and I did a waypoint mission. I just published that video, waypoint mission and some tracking. It did okay. Had a couple other video anomalies with it. There's one point you'll see when I'm tracking that all of a sudden the video just jumps ahead, and I had to resynchronize it. I was shooting in 4K 30. Maybe the answer on that drone is to shoot in 1080p. I don't know, but it's still a problem. And then today I took it out. I tried to go into what they call their zoom mode, SAR mode, search and rescue mode, and where you can zoom in, and the screen just scrambled, the FPV screen. I haven't looked on the SD card yet, so I don't know what that is. And I did some of the other intelligent flight modes, and they just didn't work like they should. You couldn't select a point of interest. In one case, when I finally was able to select one, it went a little ways, and then it lost the point of interest. It just doesn't work as advertised, and that's frustrating for anybody. With regard to the video, and Ron, you probably saw it already, it just doesn't have the dynamic range. I would take the Mini 2 SE, even though it's 2.7K as opposed to 4K, much better video quality.
Hey, but you had to try it, Marcus, and that's what your channel is about, you know. And I think
That's exactly right. Exactly
look
right.
forward to that.
Yeah, wanted to show that drone. It's a $300 drone, and you know, it's I don't want to throw it completely under the bus because it's not like it's horrible. It flies really well, and it's fast and it's fun to fly. But it's just I just wish they'd polish those rough edges.
So is it a smash or pass?
I think it kind of depends on your use case. If you're more interested in video quality, buy a DJI SE, or better yet, a Mini 3. If you want a bunch of features, if waypoints and tracking and all that stuff is important to you, maybe you'd buy the Fimi drone. But
one little maybe correction. G-Man said that when it came out it was $299, but he said currently, whenever he made this video the other day, he says $349 now. So
I saw that as well, Ron.
But he did mention it'll probably go down again if you want that price. Wait, but it's $349 now, and he pretty much said that it's not much of a difference from the Fimi Mini 1. He said he did all these comparisons, the cameras, a couple old things, but he said if you have the Fimi Mini 1, there's no reason to upgrade to this unless you have to have the latest and greatest camera.
It's better than the gimbal is way better than the Fimi Mini 1. The original Fimi Mini, you still get those micro shakes in the gimbal and so forth. They've done a good job with the gimbal on this one. You don't see any of that. It is too bad that they couldn't have just done a little bit better with that camera. They talked about well, you guys were talking about stacking. They talked about a stacked sensor or something. I don't know what that does. I can tell you the dynamic range on it is crap. They say it's got 100 megabit bit rate. It doesn't. When you look in the files, they're about 65 megabits. And you can tell when you yaw, particularly when you yaw and you turn, you see that kind of graininess in the video. That's low bit rate. And, you know, it's just a fact. You wouldn't see that on a DJI Mini.
Yeah, so no, good analysis. Thank you for that, Marcus. Because I mean the price is very appealing. Even at $349, it's the same price as the Mini 2 SE. It does offer all those features that kind of work and kind of don't work, and has 4K. Is that a fair analysis?
Totally agree. You get 4K if that's important to you, although the video quality is arguably not as good. But the features, there's a lot of people that are really want that tracking, and that I have to say, it does a pretty good job. Not just does a pretty good job, it does a great job of tracking. So does
it track better than the orange drone?
Oh, by far. Autel could learn a thing or two from Fimi on tracking. Yeah.
Hey,
the Gorilla Man said he doesn't really do tracking, so he didn't really have that tested. But he talked about the waypoints worked and a couple other advanced features he was good with.
The cool thing, if you're a waypoint guy, it is a full featured waypoint drone. In other words, you can, there's a ton of parameters you can set. You can change the speed, altitude. You can tell it what to do when it gets to each waypoint, etc. So it is in that regard, it's pretty good.
Ron, we got super chats from Johnny, Bill, Richard.
Oh well, I can't even get to them. I see we got one from Johnnie DroneFlyer, Bill Renee, and Art Carlson,
and Richard,
and Richard,
Richard.
Right above
all you guys.
Right above the cat there, Ron. You should see him.
Yeah, I'll scroll through. If I can, I'm going to shout them all out in the chat later on, or maybe I'll make a list and shout them out at the top of the show next week if I don't get to them all. Or if I do,
Bob Dempsey too. Let's not forget Bob Dempsey.
Bob Dempsey, yeah. So I will, if I don't get to tonight, I will make a list, shout you out the beginning of next week's show. Thank you all so much. Okay.
Hey, I got a question for everybody but Ron here. I see Ron's video is kind of messing up, and his audio is kind of breaking up. Are you guys getting the same thing?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
The video, the audio isn't bad.
Okay.
I don't know what to do without taking a chance of losing everything.
Yeah. No, you're okay, Ron.
Okay.
You're kind of, your video is frozen on my screen right now, but I can hear you.
I'm in a different location house, but I'm near a router. I mean, I'm near an extender or whatever. So probably if I popped out and pop back in again, let me start another topic and then I'll pop out for a minute while you guys talk about it here. Kelly Shores over at Ready Set Drone had an experience with the new SEMA W22W GPS drone. He did a review on his channel, and the review went so far south that he pretty much swore off all under $300 GPS drones. Did anybody get a chance to see his review of the SEMA?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Any comments on that, DeMarco? I'm going to pop off for a second, let you discuss it for a second.
What was the cost of that drone again, Ron? What was it again?
I think it was around 300 or maybe in the 250 range.
I just wasn't sure. I mean, that was a rough one. In fact, my comment said that drone took us back to 2017 again. So, I mean, for that price, why even consider that? I mean,
yeah. Here's the thing. Those I call them Amazon drones or bargain drones or whatever. It goes back to the John Coopyism. I'd rather pay $100 more and have it actually work. None of them work. And and you're talking to a guy that flies a lot of them, none of them work. None of them work. Now where I disagree a little bit with Kelly is the drones like the Fimi and like the Hubsan drones, they kind of work. They work better. They work a lot better. I would call them like second tier, and those Amazon drones are more like third tier. So he made a really good point, and I feel bad anytime and you've talked about this 100 times, DeMarco. Anytime we hear about somebody buying a Holy Stone, this or that, you just feel bad for them. You feel, they kind of just threw their money away.
Well, listen here. Wait, let me say this too. Not someone who bought like a $50 Holy Stone. Yeah.
No, that's different. Totally agree. Yeah, that's totally different.
Like, Johnny and I talk about this all the time. We were on DroneNation. We were on Johnny. What's
Drones and Coffee?
Yeah, Drones and Coffee, and a guy jumped in the chat that we had never seen. So we were like, "Hey, I'm not the chat on." He jumped on the live stream, and he was talking. Hey, I'm new in the drones. So we asked him, "Hey, what'd you get?" And he said, "Oh, I just spent $300 on a
Holy Stone."
And both of us were like, we didn't want to shoot the guy down. We just like, oh, great. But
so you're nice to somebody like that about buying a drone. But hey,
who bought the Mavic 3 Pro? We wouldn't.
Yeah. You throw it right under the bus.
But he said that, and both of our hearts sunk. Because right after the show, we were talking to each other. We were like, man, I felt so bad when he said that. But he didn't know.
Yeah. Hey, Lauren was getting ready to make a point. Lauren, what were you going to tell us?
I was just going to say that there is a ton of good sub $300 drones. Only problem is they haven't been made yet.
That is so
Some of that
true.
remark, hot rod. Yeah.
It's weird. There's some of them that are better than others. JJRC, they kind of work, but they're better. Those Holy Stone drones, in my experience, I've had more problems with them than almost any other. It's too bad they make all these promises, and it's all these really slick ads, and it lists all these features, and people buy those thinking that they're going to get a Mavic, and it's just not the case.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now? Did my audio come back?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can hear you.
Good. Yeah.
I think Kelly made the point is it basically the real cheap drones that are $50 under that don't have cameras. A lot of them fly real good. They're just manual flyers. You fly around the garage or in the house or whatever. But once you put a camera on them and you try to promise GPS and all these advanced features, that's when things go wrong for these bargain makers.
Hey, Lon is making a good point in the chat, and he's exactly.
Could you highlight it, please,
Mhm.
Marcus?
Yeah. He's saying that there's plenty of decent used drones under 300. So, for instance, you can buy. I've seen 100 times the original Mavic Mini for about $150, and I would so much rather see somebody buy that drone than a $300 Holy Stone. That they would have a good experience with it.
I think the guys who buy those don't know maybe so much about the used drone market, and they may even fear that. But they're walking.
It's marketing, Johnny. It's all marketing, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, when EXO did their little thing on Facebook and Twitter and all that, look how many drones they sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't even understand how many people buy those little toy drones, I guess.
Johnny, I just to your point, just today I saw on Facebook, I saw another EXO ad, and they had this girl talking about, she was a professional photographer and she always wanted to get into drones, and now she got this fantastic drone, and it was one of those EXO Rangers. It wasn't even Hubson.
Oh yeah,
it was one of those Rangers, and it's just a POS. I mean, it's just,
on top. Yeah,
yes, it's just really absolutely junk and really lousy video. And she's talking about how great it is. Well, there's people that are going to see that ad,
absolutely,
and they're going to think, oh wow, I'm going to get a Mavic for $300 or $400 or whatever. And it's
That's brutal.
Joe Photo Leo, emotion drone. This $5,000 drone can be yours for $99. Yeah, that's it.
If you held that Ranger drone, if you held it and snapped a picture, it still wouldn't.
yeah, it'd still be crap. Yeah.
So anyways, Kelly went on a little bit of a rant. It was a funny video at the beginning. I'm not the review video was funny, but the follow-up video where he's he's got this sad face or whatever. He's real depressed because the drone's doing so bad. It's kind of an amusing video, and he does make a point, even though again we all have a couple issues, a thing or two he said, but for the most part, I think he
here's
here's
the thing about that. If Kelly and you guys, Marcus, Ron, that make videos, and the rest of people who make videos, if you don't tell people the truth about that, they would just sell a ton of those, and people would be pissed off. I mean, you can't lie about that. You just can't lie.
At the end of the video, Kelly said he's never going to do a review on that kind of drone again.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that because I want people to see what they are. That's why if they send me one, I'll review it.
Yeah, I can't agree with Marcus. It's hard to throw. I mean, I know we all know they're mostly, I say junk, but it's some people can only afford, maybe $150. So
hey, Richard's making a point here. Richard, go ahead.
Yeah, and Johnny, that's not a bad thing, but as long as they have the expectation that they're not going to get what you're going to get out of something that's $1,000 or $2,000.
But the thing is, sadly, they don't.
And if they would, anybody that reviews drones, if they would just make sure that they mention that, this is a $50 drone and you're going to get $50 quality.
Right.
If you start selling this as this is the best thing since sliced bread, it damn well should be. Otherwise, you've ruined your reputation.
Well, we can thank a big Canadian drone reviewer for that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started on him.
We won't mention any names here.
No. Hey, but I wanted to point out what Richard is saying here, and he's absolutely correct. Most people, their first drone is something they ordered on Amazon.
Absolutely, yeah. And
Well,
I
didn't,
even
but
here
I
in the
didn't
community,
get it from
we got
them, but-
we got 60 people in. I bet you, probably 30 of them bought something that was,
But hey,
Well, I'm an
hey, I'll
old
say
timer.
this,
I'm just like Kelly Shores. I started with the Seaman X5C, like a $50 drone. But
Yeah.
again, but Lawrence said, I didn't have any expectations. I knew it was a brush motor drone with a cheap camera. I wasn't buying it for any advanced features or GPS. I was just a manual flyer.
Well, Ron, I'm not that smart. The first drone I bought was a JJRC something or another, and I bought it because it was big, right? I thought, oh, big has got to be better. And what a piece of junk.
Marcus,
Hey, there's a question for Lauren here.
I bought the Vizio. Marcus, help me out on X8 12. You had it too.
Oh, what was that drone? It actually didn't fly that bad.
Well, yeah. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now, like I knew that I wasn't getting, perfect camera, but it teased me for more. It didn't make me so mad where I didn't want to fly it and I hated it. And that's what I'm talking on Kelly's video. He was mad in the video, because it just stunk.
Hey, Mark, you missed your opportunity. She's gone. So
I did. Oh, you did. It's long gone, huh?
Sold out from under us.
Oh, did you sell it, Johnny?
I actually wanted to buy it off you, Johnny, but the only problem is I can't register it in Canada.
Really?
That's don't worry about that little detail.
Congrats, Johnny. Congrats.
Congrats. Hey, Marcus pulled this up on the screen for Lauren. Bill Grace has a question for you. Lauren.
I answered it
Bill
already.
says, Lauren, why the discontinuance of the Mavic 3?
I answered it already.
I think
Yeah, I see that, Lauren. I didn't see it till after I put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Hey, well, so like I see Ted Bowman is saying that his first was the Platinum, the Mavic Pro Platinum. Great first drone, man. I'm telling you what, you did good there.
Congrats. Okay, let's go on to a next story here. This is kind of, we missed it. We was a couple stories in between. On a related Fimi note, it seems there is only one guy in China who has the Fimi XA Pro. He's got a series of videos out on it, and he's put several videos on YouTube. And I put the link to his YouTube channel. And he actually does a video where he holds the Fimi XA Pro against the most recent Fimi before that. So he has them side by side, and you can see the difference in the camera. He's done some range tests. He's done some night flights with it. So there is a working model now. G-Man has a theory that this guy works for Fimi because almost all the videos are taken near where their factory and headquarters are in China.
There's a lot of people that live in Shenzhen, but yeah, I mean, that could very well be, or he probably just has even early access. Yeah, I don't know. But Ron, you made a point that, whenever we see those first videos with drones like that, they're always at night, and you never, I want to see the thing flying in daylight and doing the kind of things that we do with drones before I can make an opinion on that. There again, if it does what they say it does on the box, it's probably a pretty good value. Unfortunately, with Fimi, that is not always the case.
Hey, I pulled it out of the closet door. It's got dust on the door, but like it even had the camera you had to tilt with your.
That's right, you did. That's right.
Hey,
it's
Max,
under 249 grams, probably.
Max gave you $50 for that, DeMarco.
So what? I can't remember what they called that one, but that's a brush motor, and it's a GPS drone.
This was the Vizio. I want to say X12 or something like that. Yeah.
And actually, the GPS, it was pretty stable. It actually,
yes, it was.
Yeah,
it was. Yes, I liked it.
So, anyways, just a quick update on the Fimi XA Pro. I think somebody said it's shipping like May 20th, so that's a couple weeks down the road. Two other quick stories here. I'm going to skip the 9 first. There's a new bill in the Congress in the U.S. to ground DJI drones. I'm just getting it straight from Drone DJ. A pair of Republican legislators has joined the Congo line of officials in Washington, striking through tough positions against China, with another bill seeking to broaden the U.S. bans on DJI drones. So, not good news for DJI drones here in the U.S. I don't know if this story was all over the place last week. I posted in DroneNation. Want to read the whole story?
Yeah, it's bad news. It could really mess us up, because if they get on that, I think it's the FCC. What do they call it? The covered list, I think it is.
Yeah, covered list. Yeah,
they will not be able to get any new products approved for sale in the United States, and that would be a bummer for us.
Yep, absolutely. That puts the nail in the coffin for DJI or even Tele, because I think it was just more or less worded for country of origin. Any drone.
Yeah,
and the funny thing is that's going to kill even the $50 drones. Because there's so many of those little toy drones are made over in China as well.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, compared to DJI drones, there's 100 times more of those little cheap drones made. Now, one thing, if you read the whole article, Bob Dempsey's in here in the chat, and Bob Dempsey's trying to work with his congressman in Nevada there to help on this. Bob's really doing a lot behind the scenes trying to work this, because Bob has got proof. Well, I hate that, but he's got proof that all the information from our drones doesn't go back to the Chinese military on servers. It's actually stored, I believe he says, on Amazon servers in the U.S. DJI has, has proven that. So, and what these people, like these senators, whatever, when they say all this, that the Chinese military is doing all this, this is just their speculation. They never come in with any proof that this has actually happened.
Yep.
It's all speculative, so they're trying to roll somebody, basically, get them out of the business here in the U.S. over what they think is happening.
Yeah,
not what they can prove is
we
happening.
shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Bob talked to me a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of give him what I knew on it as well, and then he got in touch with, I forget who it was at DJI, and basically they told him the same thing as what I had told him, and give him the documentation for it. And what I find so disturbing about this whole thing is the fact that people make claims without proof, and that's a really, really dangerous thing to happen, because all of a sudden, you set off this hysteria for what reason? Something that could be just good and wonderful, never mind, not even drones, but something that could be good and wonderful, because you start a rumor, if you get enough people to believe it, you ruin something.
Let me make this point, Lauren, to your point. If somebody was able to show us some kind of proof that these drones that we were flying were doing damage to our national security, I'd be the first one to throw them all in the dumpster. But there isn't. But we can't. All we hear is this ephemeral talk about, well, it might be getting back to the CCP or this and that. But then, we like Ron just said, it all ends up on Amazon servers. I don't know. It's not making sense. If somebody could show us directly how it's harming our national security, we'd all be the first ones to say, okay, we're not going to do that.
They can't.
Yeah, if it might get back. That might is the opportune word, and might is not a good thing, because if my aunt had balls, she might be my uncle. It's just
yeah.
But sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It's true.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Rob, they went your super chats. No.
Anyhow, and this also plays along with a lot of people's theory is big business wants to get the drones out of the air in the U.S. because they want that for their delivery space. Because first of all, 2-3 years ago, all the politicians and groups were trying to ban the drones, the DJI drones, all drones, because of safety issues. They said these drones weren't safe. Well, then they had a couple years of incidents, and there were hardly any safety incidents at all. So their claim that these drones were safe, blown out of the water, the drones are much safer than cars or any other type of thing that moves or whatever. So they move from safety to the security thing.
Right. The other aspect of it that Barkley and Lon have touched on a little bit in the chat is that Skydio. And man, I love my Skydio too. But you know what? They haven't done anything since they introduced that drone, and they have the lobbyists that are behind a lot of this business with DJI and Chinese drones, and it's unfortunate. Let's compete on a level playing field. I'm all for Skydio, but let's compete on a level playing field. And you know what? Come out with some drones that people like us want to fly. That Skydio 2 is fun, but it's so limited that Anyway,
realistically, unless Skydio wants to play fair, personally, I think they should be boycotted. Like if you're not going to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, then why would I want to buy your product? Because you could be lying about your product, and so far they have. Like they're trying to sell it as a first responder drone. You can't even fly it at night, and that's when most of that stuff is used.
Exactly right.
Like I know you tell me how is this? You want to get into the market over a DJI drone that'll fly 24/7, and you can only fly 12 hours.
Well, that's what happened in Florida, and it's hamstrung all of their their first responders. They it's not good.
The Marcus was saying, not only do we have all this, but the lobbyists are trying to, to put DJI business in their companies can take over. And Marcus was a great point. Skydio and all the other names that they're mostly companies that are really aiming to be enterprise companies. Even Skydio, they have almost 4-year drone at this point. They may never make another consumer drone. I think they're enterprise focused now. So the problem is all the American companies are enterprise focused. None of them are consumer based focused like DJI is.
Yep.
So
totally agree. In fact, Ron, you just made a great point there, and we were what you have to say about DJI and why they have some loyalty from me is because they do continue to give us these consumer based products for just everyday drone flyers like us. That even Autel, there's some, we talked to our friend Ross Langdon in Australia. He sees them kind of moving away from consumer drones towards enterprise drones. We've seen this before.
Hey, sorry about that. No, I was going to say for the powers that be, the congressmen and the senators who are leaning against DJI, it would just take just some basic research to figure out the truth. And it's not like they would do it. They would have their staff do it anyway. But they don't want to know the truth. They already have their agenda set and they're going.
Hey,
so
makes a great comment right there. Yeah.
I want to send out our thoughts and prayers to Robbie, who had his, I believe it's the ice cream business, Johnny, caught fire last week. And Brad made comment that him and Al may do the show next week as Robbie's trying to, clean that mess up from the fire.
Yeah, I read it that I think the building next door, one of the adjoining buildings, and of course his got damaged. He said in his Facebook post. Yeah. So
yeah,
I saw that. So
it's a sad state of affairs that's going on with the U.S. government and DJI right now. Hopefully, these parties can kind of come to some sort of middle ground or whatever, where they can continue to keep operating in the U.S. and somehow prove to the government that they're not the nefarious actor. Again, like Mark said, if they are proven to be a nefarious actor, whatever. But until that day comes, give them the benefit of the doubt.
Hey,
like everybody else says, just because they're Chinese, well, we all walk around with Chinese phones. What if I happen to be walking by some
See you,
you know,
Lauren. Thank you for
good
coming
night,
on
Lauren.
tonight.
Thanks for coming in
Lauren.
tonight.
Lauren.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Night.
Thanks for making fun of me, Lauren.
Uh,
Love you, brother.
You're welcome, Marcus.
Hey,
Yeah,
wait till I get a chance to do it in person.
there you go. Enjoy
Hi,
that warm
guys.
weather, Lauren.
good night, Lauren.
Yeah, just making a point. A lot of people say we walk around in front of infrastructure with these phones. Probably how many people walk by some infrastructure every day in cities holding phones up like this? The camera could be recording and
It's got
videoing
a
and
hell of a
taking
camera,
pictures.
doesn't it, Ron?
Yeah. Better than a lot of drones we fly, Marcus.
Yeah.
But-
No
If
question.
Hey,
that-
but that's the whole point. Is like you can take pictures of that stuff. If you can see it, you can take a pictures of it. So
And some people make the point that
Yeah.
you can get a better aerial view of infrastructure by looking at Google Maps than you could drone videos.
Is Ron frozen again? I'm sorry.
yeah.
His
we can hear
video
him,
is.
Can
we
you,
can still
can you hear
him.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good,
Go ahead.
Ron.
Okay. It
Good.
doesn't matter from Frozen. I'm just, they're not watching me for the looks here.
Hey, let's. I want to just draw a little bit of an analogy to when they banned Huawei was making this communication equipment, and I'm not just talking about cell phones. They were building a lot of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
It goes in
Corporate
telecommunications.
routers and things like that. Yeah.
And they were running all their competitors out of business. They were selling them at a loss leader, and it was good stuff, right? So a lot of companies were buying it, but the government looked at that and they could prove that
They found parts of these routers that shouldn't be in there.
well, and they could prove that China could then have control of our communications infrastructure. So they banned them. Totally get that. Totally understand that part of it. But I don't see that same thing with these drones. I don't see it.
Because
maybe
these routers have all been stripped down to their parts, and none of these stuff has been found so far.
maybe it's something like that movie I, Robot. Like when the robots went nuts and started killing people. Maybe the drones are like that. Like we're all going to put them up at the same time. They're going to say, "Put your drones up all at the same time," and we're all going to run and do it. And then boom.
That's just a Mavic 3 Pro.
Oh, well, I got no worry about that.
We'll have to get Will Smith. We'll need Will Smith then.
Read
DeMarco.
between the lines, Johnny.
Hey, here's a question. Here's a question. If that happened tomorrow, if DJI drones were banned, what would you guys do? Like, would you keep flying or find another hobby?
You mean now banned? Now banned as far as they can't sell any more than use, or they
Can't even
ban the
fly
ones that we
anymore.
have in our hands now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they grounded all of our drones, well, I'd probably still be flying. I'd be probably fly my Skydio drone, and if we could still fly Fimis or Hubsons or whatever, I'd probably do it. Would I have
What
as
about
much fun?
Altel?
Well, yeah,
Ron?
if I could, but it wouldn't be as much fun. That's for sure. There's no doubt
Ron?
about it.
Ron?
Yeah, I would still fly whatever you could still fly legally.
Hey, there's Tanya. Tanya's still here. I thought
What
she
about
was
you,
in
Johnny?
merry old
Absolutely.
England.
I will still fly. I mean, I love the hobby. I mean, I love, of course, DJI, but yeah, I mean, and reading Lon's comments, I mean, I hate all this. We know what is political and it's a bunch of bull crap, but hey, just hope we can get, and I will say, we'll have, I have Vic Moss and Ryan on Wednesday night to fly for fun. So maybe they can, keep us up on the latest that's happening too. But yeah, it's bad. It could be bad. That's for sure.
Hot Rod Daytona says my first drone was the Air 2. Thanks to you guys. Thank you, Hot Rod. One of our
Hey,
loyal
we
fans.
were just talking about that, Marcus. I told you.
Great drone.
That is a fantastic. Yeah, DeMarco and I were talking about the night that drone got introduced. That was a fun. That was a fun night.
I was, I told Marcus, like, we were just all chatting away. And then the drone dropped and it went from to.
Order. Yeah.
Order.
Yeah. Hey, I want to shout out Tanya in the chat. She said she's leaving on Wednesday for merry old England. She's going to go to the coronation.
Oh, okay.
Have fun,
Wow,
Tanya.
we forgot it. We should have got our tickets, Marcus.
Yeah, yeah. Are you taking a drone, Tanya? That's what we want to know.
Ooh. Okay, one more story here, and then we're out of here, folks. Did we cover this? I've been on so many shows last week. I don't know if we talked about this all here. DJI got in more trouble. They got sued for $207 million from some patent troll. Sued in Waco, Texas, where they have a judge is notorious for siding with the patent trolls on cases, and some helicopter company that had a patent, DJI got sued over that, and they lost on it. I'm sure DJI can afford the money, but not people keep lining up with these patent lawsuits or whatever. Any thoughts on that case? That was happened sometime last week.
Well, it sounded like what they were claiming the patent infringement on was very basic things on a drone, like return to home, etc. So it did seem a little weird, but without knowing all the technical details, I'd say it's hard for a layman like us to really know.
Yeah,
true. I mean, I just read a couple of articles that are written by people that cover legal stuff, and most patent trolls do exactly what you said, Marcus. They have a patent on some real basic function of anything. It doesn't have to be a drone, a basic function of a cell phone or a computer or anything, and they try to sue on that. And for some reason, they win in Waco, Texas.
Yeah, evidently it does sound like a weird deal, but yeah. Do you guys ever have the thought of that sometimes DJI might just get so fed up that they just say to heck with it and quit selling drones here because it's too big?
Well, I kind of think that maybe we're not only we their biggest customer, maybe not just in terms of units, but I'm sure they sell most of their higher and expensive drones that have a lot of markup here. I'm sure that their lower price drones go well in other parts of the world, but I think we probably make up their premium customers, which most companies value.
What would those premium drones be, Ron?
Could it be like a Mavic 3 Pro?
That's it.
Yeah.
Poor Marcus.
But before we leave here, we're going to turn this into Avada Nation for a couple of minutes. Last week after the launch of the Mavic 3 Pro, Johnny, I think there was just as many people bought Avadas that day as did Mavic 3 Pros. And I think because they announced that compatibility with the camera drones, with the goggles and the Motion 2 controller. And Marcus said he almost hit the buy button on that, but it was $799 to get that bundle of the Motion controller and the Avada Integra goggle. Sorry. And you could buy the whole Explorer combo for $1,279. So basically, you were only getting the drone for only $480 at that point. So it made more sense just to get the Avada kit.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that. I mean, I don't know if that's like I say, I don't know how it is going to be flying. I mean, I did fly the Mini 3 Pro with it, but hey, just be safe and fly like you really should. But people did that excited a lot of people, that update, and it's been coming. Last probably year and a half. It seemed like that was always on people's mind. Hey, when is that going to happen?
Every time a new drone came out, that was on their mind. Yep.
Yeah, and it did happen. So yeah, it's it could be fun. That's for sure. It's just a new, it's a fun way to fly. The Motion Controller 2 is really easy, And then of course some people, I know my son-in-law ordered the Avada, but he wants to get the old style control with the stick so he can fly it in acro. So
he's a builder too, so he's going to use it with his drones he builds.
Right.
But I know you and I have only had the drone for about a week now, but what's your early impressions of Avada? I mean, I know, Johnny, you've fooled around with FPV a little bit with some tiny whoops and stuff like that, but this is your first digital FPV drone.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know what? It's a blast. And I saw all the guys and we saw the same thing at the South Florida drone meetup and those guys were truly having a great time. And we talk about buying drones. I know we teasing Marcus, but hey, you know what? It's definitely something that you can have fun with. and I'm really enjoying it. And Captain Joe bought it. I think the day after I bought it, and I called him about 2 days later when I had mine. I said, "Man, Joe, we really effed up," And he's like, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" So I said, "We waited too long to buy this because it really is fun, and we both had fun flying together today with it. But I'm enjoying it. It's a great drone, and at the South Florida Drone Meetup last year, and of course, Ron, you were there the first year. Everything was analog, and this year I don't even know if there was an analog out there.
Right.
Hey, Johnny, I got a question for you. So I'm probably going to get my first flight with this guy tomorrow.
Yep.
Will I be selling all this stuff behind me here after I fly it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. You're in danger. You're in danger, Marcus. If once you fly that drone, we'll never see another drone on your channel again.
Well, I know you're kind of joking around, Ron, but I mean, we've seen a lot of people that's all they fly now is the Avada.
Right.
But you bring up a good point, Marcus. But I think the biggest thing, my son-in-law, of course, we've been working on this house for a year, and he took his he hadn't flown in probably 6-7 months, or maybe even longer. I had a drone he built, an FPV drone, and he took it out, and I don't know, it was giving him trouble, and he was he don't really know where to start the engines or whatever, but whatever. And this drone, if I want to go out here and fly, I'm flying 2 minutes after I'm sitting out there, and I think that's the biggest thing. And those guys, they love to build. I understand that that's a whole different aspect of the sport, and that's I don't want to do that. I just want to fly. That's me.
Hey, I got another question for you guys. Kind of getting back to this DJI question and who's making consumer drones, the kind of drones that we like to fly. And virtually, we just had this discussion, virtually all of them are made in China, right? Other than the Skydio. Really, I'm trying to think of another consumer drone that's made anywhere but China. So why is that? Why aren't there other companies? For instance, Sony, when Sony, there were all the rumors about the Sony drone. Sony is a consumer products company. You would think that they would see that there's this big market out there. They could do it, right? And Ron, you and I have talked about this before. What about a company like Apple? You would think that, hey, it might be something that would kind of fit in with what they do.
Yeah.
But we haven't.
I guess a company like Apple, they probably, do enough research to know that this legal trouble was coming down the road as far as drones and safety and security and all this, that maybe it was wise not to get into it. And so it did make the Air Peak for their full frame cameras, but I know you be more of a consumer drone rather than
that's what I meant.
a professional drone. Yeah. I don't understand why the big companies have basically ignored drones and threw it off to the little guy. Look, DJI started off as a little guy and they made good or whatever. But that is a good question, Marcus.
What about a South Korean company like Samsung? You'd think that they do a lot of consumer products.
Absolutely.
You'd think that'd be right up their alley,
Yeah.
I guess maybe they did ahead of time. They thought of all these concerns, from safety to security and all this and whatever. Maybe they did enough market research that it was too many legal hoops to jump through. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, so hang on here. Lon made a point here that if Apple made a drone, it'd be manufactured in China.
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, Lon. You're absolutely correct. But their cameras or their cell phones aren't in trouble with the government over that. So
nobody's cell phones are in trouble. I mean, even a Chinese cell phone made in China by a Chinese company is not in trouble.
Yeah. So anyway,
and if you think about it too, I mean, a cell phone has much more data that could be compromised than a freaking drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can easily be sent back to someplace you don't want to be sent to. Because believe me, we know how drones are when it comes to communication. Everybody tries to stream live on their drones. You know how much that is a kind of a not a guaranteed proposition, right? But on the phone, streaming and all that type of stuff's like nothing. It works 99.9% of the time.
Every
time. You're lucky if it works 50% of the time. Like if you came in live stream from your phone to YouTube, how are you going to stream all that data to somebody back in China?
Right. Does it does it get back to the fact that people get nervous about drones because they're up in the air and they think that's the first thing we hear all the time. Somebody thinks they're getting spied on or whatever. Could it be that mentality that's driving it?
Could be.
No.
That definitely could be.
I don't.
No, I truly think it is all political, and there's money involved, and the people who are pushing that narrative are against DJI, and they have some money, and the people who are taking the money are just prostituting themselves out for it. So
Yeah.
it's just a lie. It's just a lie. But we've all seen that these last few years anyway. So hey, I'm not shocked.
Oh, you can claim me. I'm just reading some of the comments here. You know, everybody's saying the phones are, you're being tracked. You can be tracked by your phone a whole lot,
Oh, way more. Yeah.
Well, we started this conversation by talking about the Avada, and Johnny. I'm going to echo Johnny's thoughts that I've never really did any serious FPV flying. A couple whoops flew in the backyard, all analog with the scratchy video, and it breaks up as soon as you go around the corner or something. So a digital goggles and FPV drone, they're heaven. You can fly anywhere. You don't lose signal, and the picture in his goggles is just like watching a movie the whole time. It's so good in there. And even if the motion control looks kind of funny to you, it's not easy to fly if you're just doing line of sight. But as soon as you put the goggles on, that motion control makes it real easy to fly the drone, even for a newbie who's never held a joystick type controller before in their life. I'm enjoying it so far. It's something different. It's the type of thing I could do in my backyard, like you have big drones like the Mavic 3 and whatever. I would never fly that thing if I have in my backyard. I could do it, right? But I mean, I always go someplace where the Avada, I could just, if I only got 15 minutes to mess around, I can go out back, get my lawn chair out and sit around and burn a battery for 15 minutes in the backyard and have fun.
Yeah, I agree, Ron. It's definitely a lot of fun. And, I was watching your video. You've been pumping the videos out with the little updates and how to get it going. And those are great. And, I saw you going up. I thought you was going to go in the front door there for a minute on that first video.
Yeah, well, it was closed. The screen was down. What I didn't do is I was thinking about going under the air conditioners, the outside central air, and I thought better of it.
Hey, but I'll tell you what, Marcus is going to enjoy it. I really think it is a whole different experience with those goggles and even the motion control. I found it really easy.
I'm looking forward.
Johnny, Marcus may be canceling that Mavic 3 Pro order.
Well, he's gonna be using that motion controller. That's for sure.
Hey, Ron, I got to tell you, when I was watching your video this morning, that's the first thing I saw was that gap underneath the air conditioner. I thought, oh man, he's going for it.
And I thought about it, but yeah. I did do a good job going in and out of the porches, right?
You did. Oh yeah, you did a great job. Yeah.
And at one point I was doing a little roof inspection. I was trying to check my gutters to see how my leaves were up there. So if you need a gutter inspection, buy an Avada, right?
Yeah. Hey, Stevie is making a good point here too. This is so true. That listen to your conversations through Alexa. How many times I'm telling you, this is uncanny, and I don't know if it's Alexa or your cell phone or what it is, but you're talking about a product or something, and then all of a sudden you didn't do any research. All of a sudden you start seeing ads on your phone and on your computer and stuff for whatever that product is. You can't tell me that they're not listening in on something.
That's never happened to me.
Yeah, right.
No, well, that's good.
Really?
That's good.
Oh, you got Samsung. You got Android.
Because like I've heard people say that. Now what has happened is I've looked up something on my phone and then walked to the computer. Well, it's the same network though, but like never have I been spoken. And we've got that here in the house, but I've never heard that.
I've had that happen. I've had it happen.
Well, I haven't in the kitchen here. We're doing the show. Maybe listen to the whole show and gather some important information based on this show we had tonight.
Yeah.
But more about spine devices. So say that I won't say his name, but say that device we're talking about is made in China, and it's sending all this conversation back to China, the military. Can you imagine the value the Chinese military could get out of this show tonight? Zero.
Yeah, zero. Yeah,
Zero.
yeah.
They'd be mad.
Yeah.
They said, we listened to that crap for an hour and a half, and those guys didn't give up one secret.
Yeah.
So,
but they know
about
for the Mavic 3 Pro.
Hey, here they'll say,
this.
hey, they're going to send in the Spy
if
Edition, Johnny.
These politicians were so like gung ho about making a change. Why not fund some factories to build that stuff here then?
Yeah. Right?
No.
No,
They're not going to do that.
Well, what if we all pour our money together and we build the DroneNation drone company, and we build drones better than DJI drones, and we sell them right here in the U.S.
What's even better? We'll take your deposits for like 5 years.
Yeah, and then we'll build the drones.
Yeah, there we go.
And at some point, we'll sell the company off to what's that, Charlie? We'll sell the company off to Charlie before that day comes.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we've kind of hit the end of the show here. Anybody on the panel have anything they want to add? I mean, Johnny, why don't you pump up? You did a little bit, but pump up Fly for Fun show on Wednesday, because you have an important guest on that today.
Yeah, we got Vic Moss and Ryan LaTorriette, and of course Ryan's a big, he's not an attorney, but he's very up to date on a lot of the laws and rules, and he's a great guy to have in your corner. Of course, Vic Moss is on a FAA advisory board, so we want to catch up with them. It's been a while since they've been on, so we'll kind of catch up with what's happening. I know Ryan even took a picture. He was flying and had no drones, and of course he had his drone sitting under the sign. So a lot of cities and municipalities and places are just putting no drones, and so we want to find out about what is drone.
What our options are.
Yeah, is it going to be hard to fly? We'll talk about all of that. So I'm kind of interested.
Look forward to seeing that show. It'll be a good one. And I got some secret information for you, Johnny. I heard a man, I can't say his full name. I'll just call him Captain R, is making the great snowbird sojourn back from Florida back to his home base in Long Island. In other words, he'll be on the home studio on Wednesday night.
and Ray announced today on the show that they're going to have a meetup in New York. So
really,
I think him and Rob Kamada. So we'll.
Oh wow.
He'll be finding out. I mean, he'll be releasing more on that. So,
are you going, Johnny?
No, it's right. I think it's right when school starts back here. I think it's right in August. But
okay,
of course that's a harder.
Johnny hate to miss the first day of school.
Yeah. Well, hey, I do so much, and both of us we help with the kids. But, no, it'll be fun. They've talked about it because I think Herman and Lawrence did one a couple years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So good. And now, folks, don't disturb Marcus tomorrow with any calls or texts. He's gonna have the goggles on. He's gonna be focusing or whatever. He's gonna be dialed in or whatever. Do not disturb Marcus tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, DeMarco said he's not. He's going to call me. So yeah,
I'm gonna call.
Yeah,
a couple of times too.
I'm going to turn that damn phone off, Marco.
No, but seriously, we want to congratulate you on all your new drones, your Fimi, your mini 2SE killer, your new DJI Avada, and your new drone to come on the 9th, which will be today's the 1st. So if it comes on the 9th, you'll have it after the show next week, a couple days after the show next week.
Yeah, I'll be lucky if it ships on the 9th. I'll have it. A couple days after that or something probably. So
hopefully they ship. Hopefully they deliver a little early.
I'm looking forward to that drone. I don't care what you guys say.
Now, will that be going out to the canyon?
Absolutely. I can say unequivocally its first flight will be out over the canyon. I'll be sending it over the canyon.
There you go.
And we'll probably
send the Fimi out right after it.
Well, Rod, you're kind of joking around, but that's one of the things I wanted to do with that Fimi
Yeah.
drone was maybe send it over the canyon. But
and it has a strong enough motors to handle the wind out there.
It is a fast little drone. I mean, I've been kind of talking about the bad side. There's some good things about it. It is the fastest mini drone by far. And most powerful mini drone by a good margin.
DeMarco, any closing thoughts from you?
We should all say a silent prayer for that Fimi drone because he may never come back.
I've never lost one, John. I've never lost one, DeMarco, but you never know.
Yeah, I never lost one either because I can't get them off the ground too.
Yeah, yours was really a mess.
Yeah. They never get that. They never make it far enough away to get lost.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm just joking. I obviously got a bad one. Marcus, you had to go on 5, but I got a lemon and I got no support from Fimi. So I just, kiss Fimi goodbye or whatever as far as drones are concerned. I mean, it doesn't matter to me kind of what they put out or whatever, no matter how cheap it is.
Here's what happens to me, Ron, is I get that same attitude as you. I go through a drone and I'm kind of going through it with the flight I had with that Fimi Mini today. There was enough stuff that went wrong. It was really, really frustrating. And I think, why am I messing around with these drones? But then they'll come out and they'll have an advertisement that says, hey, it's going to do this and it's going to do that. And it's at this price point. And I'm thinking, well, if at that price point it can do this and can do that, and
they suck you back in.
It might be pretty good. Yeah, and I end up getting sucked back in, and I end up buying it. Yeah.
DeMarco's rolling his eyes here. DeMarco doesn't get sucked back in, do you?
No. I totally see how Marcus do it. And Marcus that's what his channel does.
Yeah, but
I don't put out videos. So Johnny and I said this to each other, I don't know how many years ago. I'm done buying those Fimis and Xenos and Hubsons because I don't need them anymore. I'm past it. So
right.
Yeah.
You've been
if I put videos out like Marcus done, I would.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, people look forward to those. I mean, that's Marcus's niche, and that's what it's about. Somebody needs to do that. And I agree.
Well, to your point, Johnny, is there is an audience for those drones, and at least if they look at one of my videos, they're going to get the unvarnished truth of what it is. It's like, yeah, I saw that too.
That other channel we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Come here, big boy.
Woo! Okay, we started to try to end the show 5-10 minutes ago. But this is it, folks. I want to thank everybody. I especially want to thank everybody who gave us a super chat tonight. And I will call all your names out next week, and maybe we'll start something special for you guys or whatever. So I want to again thank everybody who joined us in the chat tonight. All your great comments, all the usual folk that are here. Appreciate you guys so much for supporting the show. And I want to give a special thanks for Lauren, who joined us tonight all the way from Canada there, and Johnnie DroneFlyer, who's our special guest host tonight, and the regular co-host here of DeMarco and Marcus. And that's it, folks. I hope everybody has a good week. Get out there and fly their drones. And who knows? Johnny may have a new show come up soon. Avada Nation or whatever, So
I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna have fun.
Fly for fun. Fly for fun.
Fly for fun.
Or Avada for fun. Or Avada for fun.
Avada for fun. There you go.
Fun. So good night, everybody, and take care.
Bye.
Am I still frozen?
Not anymore. We can see you good now. Now the show's over, Ron.
Now